Today is Wednesday, December the 9th. I am your host, Casey Phoenix, and this is my daily thought. And funny thing is that I didn't realize it was Wednesday until about an hour or two ago. Because I was doing something and I'm like, oh yeah. And it just dawned on me. I'm like, yeah, it's Wednesday. Because I was going back and forth. Is it Tuesday or is it Wednesday? And it just hit me. I'm taking a sip of my tea. So yeah, I'm real mellow right now. I have some things on my mind. I won't discuss those things. I think that I want to just dive straight into this one, especially since I was supposed to do a short one yesterday and I didn't. So I'm going to attempt to make up for that today. Anyways, KIRWKC.com, main podcasting platform, KIRWKC on Twitter, on Instagram. Also, the videos are now being uploaded to IGTV. If you're watching on YouTube or Daily Motion, don't forget to hit the subscribe button, followed by the notification bell. Facebook.com/KIRWKC. And now on more platforms, on iHeartRadio, on Pandora as well. Just got that confirmation yesterday, as I mentioned in the show, which is amazing. So if you're listening to this on Pandora, welcome to the family. Yeah, Reputation. It's so funny. I was thinking about The Bodyguard, and one of my favorite scenes in there is when she's going shopping with him, and she's like, you know I have a reputation for being a bitch. And then they start having this discussion, and then it ends with her being upset because he starts laughing at her and all this other stuff. But I was just thinking about reputation. Now, I've talked about ego and loving yourself, and validation is for parking, not people, and other things like that. I need you to separate that stuff from this reputation daily thought, because you can add the caveat that, okay, where I've said before, it doesn't matter what people think of you, which is true to a certain degree. But there's also the other part of your reputation where you build it. I can use credit as an example. If you go to a lender and you ask them for money, you say, hey, I need to borrow such and such amount. They don't know you. They don't know anything about you. But what they do know is that they can pull your credit report and see. And if they pull up your credit report and see, okay, well, this person has 5 accounts. They have an account with American Express. They have 2 cards with American Express, 3 cards with Capital One. I'm just throwing out names. And they've always paid on time. They've always paid on time. Oh, and they've had a car before too, and they paid off that loan. They paid on time for the car that they had for 5 years, and they paid that off. And they paid on time and never missed a payment. And oh, they have student loans right now. They're paying their student loans and everything has been on time. Okay. And they don't overspend on their credit cards where they're using more than 15 or 20% of what their credit limit is on their credit cards. They've always kept it under that. And anytime it went over, they paid it off the next month in full. They're looking at all of that stuff. That is your reputation for that moment where they don't know you, but they're pulling this file and they see all this information about you. And based off of that file and the things I told you, more than likely, you going to them asking for a loan, you'll probably get it because your reputation speaks for itself. And when it comes to that, do you know that there are some people whose attitudes are questionable, but their reputation when it comes to their work ethic is stellar? I remember someone that I worked with, and I believe I mentioned it before. Out of all the people in the company, only me and two other people got along with her. And there were like over 60 people in the company. And pretty much everyone disliked her. They couldn't stand her. People begged the president of the company to fire her. And also sometimes they went to the CEO, but usually it was the president because he dealt with the day-to-day. The CEO was kind of in name only to a certain degree. But they begged the president, like, please get rid of her. Her attitude is she's just so extra. And the president would never do it, no matter how much people complained about her. The reason he didn't do it is because she had a reputation. She had a reputation for being difficult to work with, but also she had a reputation for getting things done. And the president of the company was weighing that. Okay, are there more pros or more cons with the situation? All right, nobody in the office likes her, but we bring in more investors, we get this, we get that. Anytime I assign a project, it's handled. I don't have to think about it. I don't have to follow up with her. I don't have to worry about this because her reputation, she gets things done. It's the same thing with some singers too. I'll give you another example. Lauryn Hill. Lauryn Hill has different reputations. One reputation is that she is one of the most talented artists in history. I don't really agree with that. I believe she's talented, but to each his own. But some people have given her that reputation. The other reputation to Lauryn Hill is that she doesn't show up to her concerts on time. Now, for someone who's never been to a Lauryn Hill concert, I wouldn't know. But I can only go by what I hear. And what people hear may or may not be correct. The only thing is that if tons and tons and tons of people are like, no, I went to this concert and she wasn't on time, and you start to hear that where somebody actually experienced something with someone. Another person who had a reputation is an actor, Charlie Sheen. Let me add some context here. Back a long time ago when I first moved to Los Angeles, the first time, I used to do background work a lot. I've actually been on the set on TV shows and movies and things like that. And also interacted with some people. So you would hear things and talk to people who have also worked on set, whether they have been background or whether they've actually been principals on set as well. And people develop reputations. Charlie Sheen, where people have been looking at him, especially through the Tiger Blood moments, where they might say, oh, well, he's a little bit off. But one thing I always heard about him from everything, and this was before that moment that happened, before all the other stuff. Every single person that I interacted with that had worked on the set with Charlie Sheen, every single person said he is so polite. He is so nice. I don't really like the word nice, but yeah, that's all. Everyone would sing his praises. I did not, anyone who had worked on set with him, I never heard anything negative about Charlie Sheen, ever. And I'm talking about several dozen people that I had spoke with just in passing and stuff. And you have that to go by, the reputation. Just like if you borrow money from friends and you never pay any of those friends back, you might develop a reputation of, hey, don't loan such and such money. That person never pays people back. Or you might be adventurous in certain ways. And you know what I'm talking about. And I'm not judging at all, because it's not my place to judge. Because I don't care how many people. Because look, I live in a glass house. So who am I to judge? I'm just saying that when word gets out that you've been adventurous, that's tied to your reputation. Your reputation is how the world perceives you, even though they've never met you. So then the question becomes, do you want a good reputation? Do you want a bad reputation? Do you even care about your reputation? Which you can segue to ego if you want to. And I guess everything is on a case-by-case basis. However, it doesn't hurt to evaluate internally your reputation from time to time, just to get a feel and see if additional self-reflection is needed or internal adjustment is needed. Because if you, and I'll just use the borrowing money from a friend thing. If you were to ask someone, hey, can I borrow $20? And they're like, well, I heard you're not good at paying people back. That might be a moment to be like, wow, that information got to that person. That might be a moment to reflect and possibly adjust. And like I said, adjusting is up to you. Just like being adventurous. If you're approaching someone and someone's like, well, yeah, I prefer not to, because I prefer people who haven't been as adventurous. Then that's up to you if you want to self-reflect. Because again, you can segue to ego and self-esteem, where if you're like, hey, I'm going to be as adventurous as I want to be, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. And if they don't agree with it, to hell with them, and on to the next person who can accept me and my baggage for what it is. That can be an option too. I'm just saying, in certain situations, that doing an evaluation of your reputation isn't a bad thing. Because it doesn't hurt to know where you stand sometimes. I'm not saying make it your life's mission to find out what everyone and their grandmother thinks of you, because as I said before, what people think of you is really none of your business. What I am saying is that you don't want to be blindsided by your reputation preceding you in a situation that may turn something that could have been positive into a negative. That's what I'm saying. And that's why reputations, they matter sometimes. Not all the times. Not all the time. Because like I said before, with that situation, president wouldn't fire her. And there's other situations where no matter what your reputation is, there may be someone who's willing to take a chance on you. And then there could be a situation where the wrong reputation was built up about you, where misinformation got out, and then that misinformation became your reputation. And then when people deal with you, they find out the information they received is totally different from the reputation that preceded you. But it doesn't hurt to check. It's sort of like your credit score. You don't need to look at it every single day. But it doesn't hurt to check your credit score, once a month or every 2 or 3 months or whatever, depending on what you're doing and how many accounts you have open, yada, 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 all that stuff, not to get too deep into the details. But you understand what I'm saying. So yeah, that's what I'm talking about with reputation, how the world perceives you. But as the caveat goes, and we can go back to ego, don't lead or live your life based on the thoughts of others. Don't ever do that, because that's where the caveat comes in. If you have developed a reputation for something, but hey, that's not the case, or that you're effective in other areas, then it is what it is. And you can charge on forward and do what you do and stand in your strength and stand in your beliefs and stand in your greatness. But when it comes to reputation, it doesn't hurt to just check the temperature every now and then. So that's all I have. Like I said, I'm really mellow today. I'm chilling right now, sipping my tea. I love hibiscus tea. I was looking for green tea earlier, and I did not see any caffeine-free green tea. They had decaffeinated, but I didn't see caffeine-free. And I think that has something to do with the tea itself, the green tea. So whatever. But the hibiscus tea is caffeine-free. So yeah. I guess whatever works. So that's all I have. This weekend, what am I doing this weekend? I have no idea. Let me take a look, because I actually have my laptop in front of me. Okay, so last weekend was a sports weekend. Entertainment weekend. So we're looking at an album review. I might do an album review, or I might do something totally different. I might do an album review. I don't know yet. I don't know by the time the weekend gets here. I may change my mind. I'm actually looking forward to the weekend after next, because the weekend after next is going to be a wacky news weekend. So I'm looking more forward to that, to be honest, because I love wacky news weekends. But yeah, that's all I got. Thank you for your support, everyone who's been listening. As I said before, to the people on Pandora, which now this podcast is on. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Until next time, be blessed.